It's trip planning season.
Some folks say it's really hard to find campgrounds out there, so stick around and we'll show you how easy it actually is.
You probably already know that camping has really grown over the past year, and because of that, some people are having a hard time making reservations.
Yeah, we haven't experienced that so much though. We've had a pretty easy time making reservations. We haven't found a campground yet that we couldn't book a site in.
Right.
So we thought we would make a little video and talk about what we do to plan our trips, and maybe that'll help you to plan yours as well. Hi everybody, I'm Mike.
And I'm Susan, and we are RV Blogger.
And we make tons of YouTube videos all about RVing. And so if you've seen us before, welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome aboard. We sure are glad to have you. In addition to our YouTube channel, we also have our website, RVBlogger.com, where we have hundreds of articles all about RVing. And we also have our Facebook group called RV Camping for Newbies, where you can join in the fun, meet fellow RVers, learn tons of information about RVing as well. It's just a lot of fun. We have a good time in there, and we think you will as well. But today, we're here to focus on what we do to make our lives a little easier with trip planning so we can always find campgrounds all year round.
So we think our biggest tip is to actually start early. If you wait too late, you won't find the campground, especially if it's in a very popular area.
Yeah, we actually try to keep track of when certain campgrounds become available for us to book in. So
when their booking window opens.
Yep, when their booking window opens. So the really popular national parks, for example, they'll tell you what the first day is that you can book. Some of them are 9 months in advance, some of them are 12 months in advance.
Right.
But we keep a calendar of what those first days are, so we can be right there the minute the window opens to start to book on those trips. Now, we've even gone so far as we have a campsite booked in September of 2022. I mean, that's a year and a half ahead now.
Right.
And, you know, but that's what we do, is we start super, super, super early in the process.
So our second tip is finding a tool that will help you find campgrounds. Now you could go on the internet and you could search for campgrounds in your county or wherever you plan to travel, or you can find a tool that might have all of that in one.
Yeah, so the tool that we like the best for finding campgrounds is the TheDyrt Pro membership. We love their website because a couple things. Number one, it has over 44,000 campgrounds, so it's got by far the largest number of campgrounds than any other website that we know of out there.
Right.
And secondly, they have the highest number of reviews as well. They have over 1 million reviews on all these campsites.
And I don't know about you, but I feel much more comfortable going someplace where other people have reviewed it, and these are fellow campers, so they have nothing to gain by it, but you know, they'll send you pictures, they'll give you descriptions of the locations, and they'll give you an honest review, and then that gives me peace of mind.
Yeah, but using a tool like this really helps us to focus in on an area, find every available campground around the area where we want to visit, and then that way we always can come up with a campground that has availability. So for us, that type of a tool makes a lot of sense, and it really makes things a lot easier.
Versus just trying to find, you know, Googling campgrounds in Maryland, and it's like, and then you have to go to each website. Just go find something where you can get it all right there.
Yeah, and another nice feature that I like, and I know I drive Susan crazy sometimes, because we can't just pick a campground. We have to pick the actual site that we're going to stay on, because I'm crazy like that. So I like a feature built into my tool where I can go to the satellite view of a campground and zoom right in, and I can see every single campsite from that satellite view. But we've also found things like train tracks running through the middle of a campground, or how close is it to a highway or a major road, or you know, we don't want a campsite, for example, that's next to the bathroom or has a walking path coming next to it, or
maybe you want to be close to a playground.
And so you can really pick where you are within the campground. And so for us, that really works out
Right.
well, so we can get to that granular level of not just finding a campground with any site.
Right.
We have control over where we land.
So now you've booked your campground and it's time to plan your route. But I'm not sure if you know that Waze and Google Maps and your traditional type of automobile GPS is not suitable for an RV, because an RV is going to be taller, heavier, wider. You may have to avoid tunnels and bridges. You may want to avoid tolls or ferries. So you have to be very specific about what kind of trip planning tool to get you on the road.
Yeah, so we recommend and we use ourselves, trip planning tools that are very easy to load up onto a GPS that is RV friendly. That's
Right.
one of the biggest tips that we have for folks out there. There are some trip planning tools that are out there that it used to be very difficult or cumbersome to take your trip from inside the computer program on your desktop and then get it to load up onto your phone GPS or even an external GPS that you might have in your RV.
Right.
But there are trip planning tools out there now that load right into a GPS that's RV friendly right on your phone. So save your money.
Yeah.
Don't buy an external GPS, but try to find a program where you can take your trip once it's planned and load it up into your phone and save some money. And it's super convenient that way as well.
So our last tip is you kind of want to be prepared for the fact that you could lose cell service, not have Wi-Fi. It happens to us whether we hit a dead zone, whether we're boondocking. And so you may have your trip on your phone planned, but you lose your cell service. What do you do then?
Yeah, so that's another key thing to look for. And what we found is that some of the trip planning programs out there actually have downloadable maps.
Right.
And so we can download the map before we take off, but we use our GPS on our phone to get us where we're going. But then if we're in the mountains or in the middle of nowhere, we lose cell service, we can just pull up the maps that we downloaded, and then we can still get where we're going. So that's an important part of your trip also, because there's nothing worse than being hours into your trip and all of a sudden you don't know where to go. So those are the 4 things that we do to make trip planning easy and fun for us. I know in the past when we didn't have, like the dirt to look through, it was very frustrating and we would be on each other's nerves. And I mean, by the end of an evening, we would just be
exhausted.
But we don't have that problem anymore.
Right. No. And like we mentioned, the DYRT Pro membership before, it is a one-stop shop for us. I mean, we find all the campgrounds that we could possibly imagine with tons of reviews. It does have a trip planning tool. It has downloadable maps. We have
the GPS that everything loads right up to.
We can find boondocking at Bureau of Land Management or national parks. So if we don't want to be in an RV park, if we want to boondock it somewhere, we have that access too.
Yeah, it really does make our lives a whole lot easier. And so if you're interested in trying out the DYRT Pro membership for yourself, we actually have a link that we'll stick in the show notes down below, and you can try it yourself for free for 90 days. It's a great offer. Full disclosure, you do have to enter your credit card information in when you sign up, but they don't bill you until the 90-day free trial is up. So if you try it, you don't like it, just cancel before 90 days and they'll never bill your credit card. But we use it, we really like it, and it's made our trip planning so much easier.
And 90-day free trial, that's like your entire camping season. I mean, if you think about it, that's 3 months of camping where you can, take advantage of this offer.
Yeah, so try it out and see if you like it. We hope you'll check it out and see what you think of it. And speaking of checking it out, if you'd like to check out some of our other videos, we hope you'll click right down below on one of those. And remember to subscribe to the RV Blogger YouTube channel when you do, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we put out a brand new video every single week. So for Mike
and Susan,
thanks for watching,
and we'll see you next time.